Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Kraken The Cryptic, where I have left it far too late to be attempting a puzzle today. Life has really got in the way. It's now it's getting on for 6 o'clock in the evening, which is not the time I should be attempting puzzles. I normally have them done and dusted by a sort of early afternoon, so this is terrifying, but I'm hopeful that the puzzle on the screen will do the business for us. It's called Bridges and Fillings, and it's by the great Math Pesto. Now, it's got 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty on Logic Masters Germany, a whopping high approval rating. It's been recommended to us, and Math Pesto also wrote to us and said that this puzzle, it's sort of quite gentle, apparently, so the logic might be good. And one of the comments on Logic Masters Germany said it's the smoothest pesto, which sounds delicious. So I'm hoping it will allow me to finish a video and get it all edited and uploaded before the 8:30 deadline. Wish me luck. And thanks, by the way, for so many of you who enjoyed, or seemed to enjoy anyway, yesterday's joint solve. Mark and I attempted one of these pair doku puzzles. That one was by Riff Clown, and these are puzzles where you have to solve with a friend and neither of you can see the grid. So there's sort of 2 different puzzles with the same solution. Gosh, it's windy here today. 2 different puzzles with the same solution, but you have to sort of communicate what you're finding in your puzzle to your partner. Apparently I did it very badly. I'm very sorry, Mark, for not telling you exactly what I was seeing, but it did make for some amusing comments. Now, anything else I need to talk about before we kick off and get cracking on Math Pesto's puzzle? There are 2 birthdays I need to do today. Jeremy, over there in Jacksonville, Florida. I think you've turned a secret age today, which I won't reveal. Do not worry, but I wish you, obviously, many happy returns. I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. And then Jory, you've turned 34 today, over there just north of Boston, Massachusetts, I believe. And I know this because your wife, Carolyn, wrote to us. And she wrote about you, my friend, in glowing terms. I know you've been married for nearly 8 years. You're a brilliant engineer. She clearly loves you very much. And I happen to know you're getting chocolate cake today. So, Jory, it is a good day for you all round. And I hope that you're able to celebrate with and have a lot of fun today. Other than that, what else should I mention? Over on Patreon, we've still got our Let's Get Kraken, or Kraken the Cryptic, I think we ended up calling it. Which is our monthly reward for July. You've got until the 20th if you'd like to be in with the chance of winning the competition. Lots of you have been dedicating time to that and enjoying it, which we're delighted about. And in fact, in case you didn't see yesterday's video, I've got this up still as my picture. Loads of you asking about this, and I don't blame you. Incredible fantasy art from Karin. And Karin Hoye, who is on Instagram, by the way. So there are some more pictures of this. If you're on Instagram, look for Karin's name, and you should find this incredible Tolkien-esque map that she has created. It is one of the most beautiful things, and I'm really hoping that Karin might send it to me, actually, because if she does, I'm going to put it on my wall. I'm going to put it on the wall of the most important room of my house and have it there for to talk as a talking point for everybody, and that's going to be wonderful. My phone is buzzing. Anyway, it's cool, isn't it? It really is cool. Anyway, let's have a look at Math Pesto's puzzle. And I will try, and my window might rattle a bit today. I apologise for that. But we do have storms here in the UK. Bridges and Fillings is the name, and this is what we have to do. Divide the grid into polyominoes so that polyominoes of the same size, i.e. with the same number of cells, don't share an edge. So a polyomino, that sounds like a complicated term, doesn't it? It's not. It just means a collection of orthogonally connected cells, i.e. cells that share an edge. So that's a polyomino of size 5. Let's do another polyomino. That's a polyomino of size 8. Let's do one that isn't a polyomino. That is not a polyomino, because this one is stranded. It touches its friends at a point, but it doesn't share an edge. So that could be a polyomino again. That's what we need to do. So we need to divide the grid into polyominoes such that we don't have sort of, if we had a 5 there, let's have a 5 there, we couldn't have, for example, a 5 there because these share an edge, and that's not the idea of the puzzle. Each cell contains a number equal to its polyomino size. So if we did have a size 5 region, what we need to do is to write 5 into each of the cells. Now, for each line, one circle contains an odd number and the other an even. The odd circle gives the amount of odd numbers on the line excluding itself, while the even circle gives the amount of even numbers excluding itself. So that means we have to divide each line into odd and even digits, and these basically, the circles at the end of the line provide the counts of the odds and the even numbers, and therefore have to be odd and even, or apparently have to be odd and even. Now there's one more rule which says the following. If an odd number is in a cell with an arrow, it gives the amount of odd numbers in that direction excluding itself. So let's find an arrow cell. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if that was a 3, I think it's saying there are 3 odd numbers along that diagonal. Let's say it was a 2. That would be saying there's 2 even numbers on that diagonal, because the last rule says if the number's even, it gives the amount of even numbers. I can't remember if I read that bit out, but I did read the rules before I turned on the webcam. So that is the final rule, and that's everything we need to know, apparently, to solve this rather colourful and pretty puzzle from Math Pesto. Now do have a go. Math Pesto's puzzles are wonderful, truly innovative, and always highly clever. The way to play is to click the link under the video, as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is that, in theory at least, I could label every circle combination with the sort of length of its line, couldn't I? Because this is a line of length 7. So these have to either be 1, 6, 2, 5 or 3, 4 in some order. That's going to be hideous to do that. What we need is very short lines, I think. So let's go for that one. Looks short. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay. Right. So is it true to say, I think it must be true to say, because what we have to put into these 2 circles is essentially 2 digits that add up to the length of the line. Now the length of the line is 3, so these have to be a 1-2 pair. Well, these have to be a 1-2 pair. Now the length of this line is 3, so these have to be a 1-2 pair. And what that means is that one of these is going to be a 2, and that's saying that there are, right, so there are definitely 2 even digits on each of these 3 cell strings and 1 odd digit. But it doesn't, what I hadn't appreciated actually until I'm now thinking about it is that it doesn't tell us anything about the size of the odd and even digits along this string, does it? So I mean, if this had a 19 on it, hang on, let me just check the instructions again, because I know that constructors are being very careful now to use number in puzzles where, as opposed to digit. So if they use number, it often means there is a very big number in one of the circles. Yeah, see, it's using number. It uses number, it doesn't say digit anywhere. Right, so there could be an astronomically large region in this puzzle. Now. Okay, but there must be some sort of symmetry, mustn't there? Right, look at this line here, this cell here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a length 5 line. And that's a 1 or a 2. So surely that is a 4 or a 3, I want to say. If this is a 2, the only way to divide up the line of 5 cells long must be with a 3 on the other side. If this is a 1, this needs to be a 4. And right, and that's going to keep going, isn't it? Because now this line, which is of length 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all of odd length, presumably. It must be, yeah, because they've got an odd and an even number at either end. Yeah, okay, so this is of length 5 as well. So this is either 1 or 2. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is of length 9, so that's 8 or 6. Oh, and then the line ends, so we don't actually learn anymore. But if that was an 8, 2, 3, 4, we're saying an awful lot. Yeah, again though, it's tricky because, oh, hang on, I've just had a thought. I've not even thought about this, but I've had a thought. So I'll just say what I was going to say, and then I will go on to my thought. So the thought was, if this was 8, then an awful lot of this real estate here is even. But again, we don't know. Yeah, I mean, that could be an 8 itself, and then those cells could be a polyomino of size 8, and then that would be a 1, and that would be a 1, and there would be nothing wrong with that, I think. Right, but the other thought I had was, how about we use the arrows? Yeah. Right. It's funny the way brains sometimes work, or at least my brain sometimes works, because some bits of the instructions appear late, you sort of relegate in your mind their importance. But if I'd thought about that square, that's a 1, isn't it? Because that square has got an arrow in it, it's pointing to this square, so it can't be anything else, because it's counting how many odd or even digits are to its right. But it can't have a count of anything other than 1. So that is a 1, and that is a region. Oh, hang on, I don't want that colour. Let's ring that in black to make it clear that that is a region of size 1. Now, I tell you what I am tempted to do, and that's parity shade this puzzle. I could do, couldn't I? So this is most certainly odd. I'm just thinking we've got to keep obviously very careful track of odd and even numbers. And in fact, yes, that's odd because this is saying there is one odd number to its right. Now this is at least a 3 now because it can't be a 1 or it'll break the rules of fillomino. It's at least a 3. Ah, no, that doesn't... Right, sorry, this doesn't do anything, does it? I mean, that's got to be a 1, 2, or a 3. What we need is a circle with an arrow. And we don't get any of those. Right, okay. This one, 1, 2, 3. That's a 1, 2, or a 3. Oh, see, also, if you're used to doing sudoku, this looks like a 1, 2, 3 triple, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. Okay, what about... Well, that cell maybe. That's got to be a 1 or a 2, hasn't it? It can't be a 3-size region when it's fenced in by 1s and 2s. So that is a 1 or a 2. But if it was a 1, all of these would be 2s. No, that's so obvious. Right, okay. That is not a 1. Because if it is a 1, you can't have a 1-size region next to it, and both of those circles would be 2s, and that line couldn't be divided. It would have 2 even numbers on either end of it. So this is not a 1, it is a 2. Aha, right, so that gets blue. I'm going to use blue and orange, which are my patented colours for odd and even numbers. Orange for odd numbers because they both begin with O. What better reason? And blue simply because we are told that blue and orange are our best palette colours for people who suffer from colour blindness. So this 2 well, that's actually that's beautiful. That is a lovely, lovely first bit of logic. So this is the question we need to ask. How could this be a 1? And it can't be a 1 for a lovely reason. If this is a 1, what's this number? Well, it's 2, because it's got to be even parity, and its only option is 2. But that's going to make this a 2 as well on the other line, and we're going to have 2 2s here, and that's going to cause however we divide this up, there will be two regions of size 2 that touch one another, and that's too naughty for words. So this is a 2, which means this is a 1 and this is a 1, and now we can do oranges in these squares, we can do blue in this square, we can delineate a word which I have had traumas about since the listener crossword many years ago with the copyright symbol, but that's another story. And we will have... Okay, so what does that mean? So that means that this line has to have 2 even digits on it and 1 odd digit on it. So if that was odd, those 2 would be even, and this would be a 1 touching a 1, which it cannot be. So that is even. And if that's even, this is getting interesting, because this can't be a 2 region, because it will touch a 2. So not only does it have to grow, but it has to be at least a 4 now. But we know this is odd, because we have to divide the line. Sorry, there might be some children's noise at the moment. It is school holiday time, so hopefully you'll understand that. So this is at least 4. It's now got to come out here. This could perhaps be a 1. This one we know is at least a size 3 region, because it can't be a 1 region, so that's got to come down here. And that now is odd, which means its other circle has to be even. Now this, no, I was about, oh, no, no. I'm now getting confused between cells I've delineated with a black boundary and cells that have a white, sort of a circle with a black boundary in them. Now, can we do the same trick then? This is an odd digit, but it could be a 1. This is at least a 4. I'm going to write 4 in a small letters into this. This, oh god, I'm stuck now, hang on. If that's odd, oh, hang on. Right, it's quite difficult to follow this, but this line here has already got 1 even digit on it, I suddenly notice. So it's only these are of opposite parity. So if that's even, this is odd, and that goes into that. Oh no, this is sorry, I hadn't spotted this. Look, this is definitely odd, and it's a circle. So that's got to be even, because it's on the other side of that line, look. Now this has got to be odd, because it's on the other side of this line. Now 1 can't be next to 1. Let's delineate this, shade it in. We give that one orange. This is most certainly blue. And what now? Well, how could that possibly be 3? That can't be 3, because that would imply all 3 of those were odd, and they're definitely not. So that has to be 2, which means that, well, 2 is even. There is a knowledge bomb for you. And that means that square is even. If that's more than 4 now, if that's a 6, for example, it would have to go down there. This, well, this could be 2 if those 2 are the same. But, we've got, oh, look, we do get 8 there. I didn't think that was going to happen. Right, this is a 1, and this line is of length 9. So this now has to be 8, and that's 8 is even. Right, now this is an odd sequence, so that's got to be odd. It's at least of length 3. And how many numbers are we sharing here? We're sharing 5. Right, so these are from 1, 2, 3 and 4. They're either a 1, 4 pair or a 2, 3 pair. That can't be 1, so that can't be 4. And this can't, oh, this is, yeah, it's really gorgeous actually. It's surprising. But look, that's now is part of a region that's at least of size 3, so it must be a 3, which means that must be a 2, which means this is finished. So we can, oh, why? Oh, I thought the colour had changed then, but maybe that's just my... No, I'm just still drawing black boundaries. Okay, so on this line, I've got to put 3 odd digits and 2 even digits. What's this arrow, though? This arrow we know, don't we? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it could be a blue 4... And it can't, yes, it can't, what it can't be is an orange 2, because if it's orange, it's counting an even number of cells, and that's most certainly paradoxical. So this is great, because that has to be a blue 4, which means this 2 has to get out, and we can label its digit. Oh, look. I love this sort of thing. Now this 2, where does it go? It definitely can't take this cell or this cell, or it will touch another 2 region. So that 2 is forced to go there. We can colour it in. Actually, let's number it first. Colour it in. This is now not a 2, so this is most certainly odd. That's an arrow cell, so that's a 1. And we can do that. Now what do we do? Well, now I can see that this 2 has 2 on its line already, so that's full. So these have to both be orange. These all get 3'd. This can't be a 3. But it could be a 1 and then some other number here. But the 4 is now penned in, so these have to be 4. They're both even. The 4 and the 8 need to be delineated, don't they? And what about that digit then? That can't be 4. There's only 3 digits in that direction. So the final piece of the 4 goes here, which is going to push the 8 down. Let's push this in. The 8's got to go down. The 8, how long is that line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, this line is not long enough for the 8 to go in the circle, so we could delineate that. And, okay, right, and I can see one more thing, which is that this digit is even now. Because if it was odd, it would be a 1 and touch another 1. So that's got to be even. And it can't, right, that can't be a 2, so that's at least a 4. So that one's at least a 4, and that one's at least a 4. They can't both be 4, because they'll touch one another. So at least one of these is a 6. Right, but that... Am I going mad? Or does that mean it is a 6? I think it is a 6. Because there are only 6 cells, and it's sort of trapped in by the 4. That's really weird. I'm just going to pause and think about that for a second or two. I can now see one way of thinking about this differently is that this can't be a 2, so it's at least a 4. Now, were it to be a 4, this has no options, because it couldn't then be 4, it would touch this cell, and it can't be 2. So that's clearly not a 4, so it is bigger, so it is 6. Yeah, I mean, I think there are a variety of ways of reaching that conclusion, but we found 1 at least, maybe 2. This now has become a 1. Now, what do we do next? Do we know the way to San Jose? I don't know. Oh my goodness me. Proper wind again. This cell. Well, okay, this is 1 or 2, which is not perfect because it's unresolved, I think. If it's 1, that's odd. If it's 2, oh, this is always odd. Is that true? I think that is true. Because it sees 2 evens already. So if it's 2, it can't see any more, and that's odd. And if that's 1, we need an odd digit. That's lovely as well. It's sort of a weird bit of logic. So the 8 now has to sort of go this way. Can that really be an 8? 1, 2, 3. No, it can't. Look, there are not enough cells that can be even in this column. So the 8 doesn't go in there. So the 8 comes down here. Whereupon, look, it's got to go this way. So the 8's got to go, well, I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to go at least to there. And, well, it's going to go further, but it might come and pop up here. Although, actually, I say that, I think we have to think about this square. Now, at the moment, it can't be a 1. So if it's odd, it's coming out this way. And it would, well, do you think all of those can be odd? Is that possible? Maybe. That would make this 3 or 5. That's the odd numbers it can be. If it's even, it's got to be at least 4. But could it be 6? Actually, I've just thought this can't be 5 because that would turn all of those odd. And I'm only meant to have 1 odd on this line, and there would be 2. Oh, hang on, I'll tell you something else I haven't thought about. And that's how this line divides up. But anyway, that's definitely not 5. So that's either 3, or if it's even, it's 6 actually. Because it can't be 4, I'm now seeing, because it would touch this one. So that is 3 or 6. Now if it's 6... all of those turn even. And that doesn't work. Because then this line here, which needs 1 odd digit on it, it would have to be that digit, and that would be a 1 beneath another 1. So it's not possible that all these are even. So this cannot be a 6 and has to be a 3, which means that has to be a 3. That's going to push our 8 along the bottom of the grid, I think. That's going to become an 8 now. We know that the 8 can't run into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got almost all of the 8 done. Let's just colour it in. Do some delineation. Write in some numbers in the hope this helps. What's this 4 doing? So this line is divided into 1 odd digit, which can't be here, because if that's the 1 odd digit, oh no, I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. Well, I'm right, but I was right for the wrong reason. Gosh. Okay. This cannot be odd, because if it's odd, the rest of this line is even. But this can't be a 1, so it would have to be a 3, and that would require these 2 squares to be odd. And that doesn't work for the parity of this line, which requires 2 even digits, not 2 odd digits. So this is even. I don't actually know that. That's probably not a sensible way to think about this, because that's not really done anything, has it? But okay, I'll repeat that trick on this cell. This would have been a more sensible place to apply that trick. If this cell is odd, then by the parity of this line here, if this is odd, this is even, but it would have to be a 1. So that's even, therefore that's odd by the parity of the line. This square must be part of the 4, because it's got to get out, which means that's 4, and that's 4, and that 4 is finished, which is presumably a bit of a boon for us. Let's see. This blue at the top now has to get out, so this is at least a 2. And we haven't put an odd digit on this line, so that's odd. Now, it doesn't bizarrely, I think, mean that that cell's a 3. That could still be a 1 probably, and then this could be a 3 or a 5. So we have to still, but whatever happens, this is odd, isn't it? Because even if this was a 1, that will make this a 3. And the other situation is that this is at least a 3 and it's coming out there. So that's odd. So what we need now is to conclude this can't be a 2, and that's going to give us the parity of this. Yeah, okay, and I've got this same trick emerging here. Look at this. Oh no, I haven't. For some reason, why do I look at that and think it's got a circle in it when it clearly doesn't? The answer is because I can't actually see properly. Oh dear. Well, what is the circle that attaches to this then? Is it that one? Oh right, okay. Oh well, look at this line. It's got to have one odd digit on it, and it's got it. So the rest of this line, which includes that cell, is all even. Oh, this is going to do mighty work. That's got to be a 2. Right, which was always, okay, well not always going to happen, but it was always already correct. The 2 can't go up, or it will touch another 2. So this cell now is at least part of a 4, which means it has to come out to its left. I'm going to put 4 in a little digit in here. This square's in. That's at least a 6, because it sees 2 and 4. So that one is at least a 6 coming out of there. And, right, here's a little trick we can do. What is the number in that cell? Well, there's 2 of each parity along the line, so it's got to be a 2, which in turn determines the fact its colour must be blue. Now, that 2 can't go there, because it will touch another 2 if we put it in its other cell in that position. This turned out to be a 3, which the count of which is now correct. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think we're about to get very badly stuck. I hope that's not right, but I suddenly feel like everything I'm trying is well, actually, could I get the numbers on this line? Let's have a check of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This line contains stuff that adds up to 7. And we've already got 2 odd numbers and 4 even numbers on it. So it's either 5, 2 or 3, 4. So if this was... No, okay, so what's the parity of this cell? If this was even, it can only be a 2, but that's going to leave a very unfortunate number. Well, there's no way to fill this domino if this is a 2 domino. You can't put 2 1s in there, so this is broken, so this is not even, it's odd. And if that's odd, we know this is even. Now we also know that this is either adding up to 4 or 5, isn't it? Well, 5, hang on. It's adding up to an even number. It can't add up to 6. So, sorry, this is a 4. I'm being slow. So this is 3. That can't touch that square. Ah! Right. Yes, okay, well this can't be any bigger than 3, can it? And it can't be 3. So that is a 1, which means this is a 3. And it means that we hide 2 in the corner. That's lovely. It's very, very clever and surprising. So we can delineate all of this as well. Now, so we know we need one more odd number on this divider. So that's it. So this 3 has to get out, and that's its final cell. The 2 has to get out, so we finished that one. We can bluify it. This is at least a 4 from our early pencil marks. This is at least a 1. That's not useful. This 4 is at least a 4. There, I've said it. So the 8 gets finished. Look, we've hit the final cell of the 8 at the bottom, assuming that I didn't miscount that earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That looks good. So this is a 4. Now, how long is this line? 1, 2, oh. Is this? No, I thought that was a 3 line. Of course it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5 line. So these squares are from 1, 2, 3 and 4. This square, no, that can still be a 1. If this isn't a 1, it's quite a big number. It's at least 5. And that will bump into here. And if that's a 5, it can't be a 5, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7 length line. It's already got 3 even digits on it. So it's either got 4 or 6 even digits, which means it's got 1 or 3 odd digits. So this cell has to be a 1, I think, which is going to be fine. Let's put that in. And, oh, in fact, look, I keep missing this. That is even, so that is in fact odd. And it can't be a 1, so it must be a 3, because there's not enough room. We've just said it's not enough room for it to be a 5. So, oh, hang on. So that's going to push the 4 over. So the 4 comes here. And we can get a count on this square, can't we? Let me just double check this now. I keep confusing myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at a count of 4. So that square is either 4 or 6. I don't know what that, I don't know which. I don't think I do anyway. If it was 6, this 3 would have to get out, but I think it still could. It could go there or there. That's frustrating. What could it be then? How are we going to get ourselves unstuck from this little impasse? Would it be sensible? I don't know, actually. I'm not sure where I'm meant to look now. 2, 3, 4, 5. These squares have got to be from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there something... 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's 7, isn't it? So we don't... I just don't think we know about these 2 digits. Or is there something preventing this 4 from doing something? I don't know what it's going to be prevented from doing, but... Or is it something to do with this 3? Can that 3 just run sideways or not? Or could the 3 nest like that? I don't know. This one? I just don't think we know enough about this one. Oh. No. Well, the small point is that that can't be a 4, can it? Because this 4 is going to bump into this square, because the 4 is going to complete by taking this square or this square, which stops that being a 4, which stops this being a 1. So, if this was 3 now, this would be 2. Don't know. If that's 4, it can't bump into its friend here. So if this is 4, it's got to sort of go that way. But that might work. That would then be... it actually doesn't work, does it, for this to be 4? It's quite tricky to see. But if this is 4, let me show you. If that's 4, it can't go here now. So its only way of filling itself is like this. Let's fill that in to show you. Now, this now... Well, this is now 1, obviously. This is an orange digit. But that means this is unfillable, because we can't put the 4 in it, and we can't put another 1 in it, so there's literally nothing it can be. So this square is not 4, which means it's 2 or 3, which means this is 2 or 3, so we've got a very sort of neutral separation of digits here. And that still means this 3 could come across here and hit this. Or it means it could turn like that and force this to be a 2. No, I think I'm missing something here. Oh, this is 3. Hang on, what's that? Oh, Simon! That's a 3, so that's a 4. Just obviously. So that's a 4. Because this line, I'm just going to double check I've got the length of this line correctly. Okay, yes I do. Right, so that's good. At least that's done something. And if this is 4, 1, 2, we've already got the 4. So these are all odd. What, oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. Oh, look, and that... Oh, dear. This was a much simpler way to avoid 4 going into those squares, is noting this was going to be a 4. And that's going to do some things for us, is it? Now, does that mean we know what this is? If this was... If that was 3, does that mean it... If this is 3, this is 2, it takes those 2. This is then odd, this is then odd. Oh no, hang on. No, hang on, I was miscounting this line. If that's 2, it's done. And all those are odd. And that's a 3 and it's odd. But if that's a 3... Hang on. Is this another of these situations? Yeah, this is another of these situations. Sorry, I'm being so slow with this. But those squares are all odd, whatever happens, because we were saying there's 2 evens on the line. I've already got them. So the rest of the line has to be odd. Oh, why can't I just see that straight away? And that forces this to be 3, because now it can't be 2, because it would be locked in the corner. Oh, and that gives us a 3 in the corner. I don't know if it does work. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Okay, so that's got to be orange. This square, well, this square is now 2, which has to go up there. This puzzle has succeeded in thoroughly confusing me. Now this 2 is touching one of those, so those can't be 2, which means in order to add up to 5, this must be a 1-4 pair. So this can't be a 1, because if it was a 1, it would have a 1 beneath it. So that's a 4, this is a 1, this 4 has to get out, so it's got to go up there. All of those are 4, this is an odd digit, so that's a 1, that's a 1, oh, whoopsie, that's a 1. Let's do some delineating. We have not put... Oh, maybe this arrow is where we need to look now. Or the 3? Do we know how this 3 works? Ah, yeah, I've got one more deduction. This 4 here, how could it not take this cell? It would have to go up here. And that would cut this cell off, wouldn't it? So this 4 must take at least this cell. But the reason that's nice is now this line, we know it must have opposite parity, and that blocks the 4 in. That's lovely. That's really lovely. So now that's forced, that's forced, that's forced, that's forced. This square... Don't know. Yes, no, we do, of course. This line is of length 7. So that's a 3, because that's a 4. Oh dear. No, that's fine. That's fine. This 3 now can't do that or that. So that does nest in there. And forces us to have a 1 here, which gives us a 3 here. Which forces the 2 up. I don't know what all this is doing, but I suspect it's doing nice things for us. So that's now odd. This 2 is finished. This is at least a 6, so it's going to come and wend its way through that little passageway we've now created for it. It's at least a 6. So maybe I'll put little 6s into all the squares. And let's have a think about what that means. This 3 is so going to turn there, isn't it? Right, what's this number? This number is, if it's counting odd numbers, it would have to be a 5. And that would make this odd, and that would break this line, because it would put 2 odd digits on it. So that's even. I don't know what the number is yet. Well, it's got to be 2, because it's got to be an even number of blue cells, and the only thing I can get to is 2. So that forces the 3 up, look, and finishes it. Which, I'm not sure if that's doing it well. And we know that, oh, hang on, we know that's a 2, so that's the 4. That's going to be important. And now we haven't put an odd digit on this line, so that's got to be odd, and it's not 3, but it could be 1. Okay, but let's... Oh, but that forces the 2 up in turn, so that's got to be the 2. Let's put loads of stuff into the grid as a result of this. There we go. Oops. This could be a 1. I sort of hope it isn't. We're sort of closing in on a finish, aren't we? We've just got to figure out what's going on at the top of the grid. I don't know yet. I don't think we know anyway. Have I used up? Oh, no, I haven't. I've not used up this one. Is this somehow important? Maybe. Let's think about this. So this is, if it's counting even digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it would have to be a 6. Oh, that looks almost likely. Oh, no, that is gorgeous. Okay, that's my favourite part of the puzzle. No. Oh, I'm wrong as well. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. Oh, that, hang on. That's too good not to be deliberate. Yes, I can force this logic to happen. Right. This line is finished. I've got 4, so this has to be odd. And that allows this logic I've just noticed to work, which is, this cannot be 6. Because 6 causes this to be even. And that's part of this. And that's impossible. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to tell you 2 things now, which is that I can still force this logic to be beautiful. It's just I've jumped about 6 steps to get to this logic, and I oughtn't to have done that. But let me explain. I spotted, I think, the point, but I didn't spot some of the niceties around the point. Now, how can this be 6? Let's think about that. We know that we've got a region growing here that might be a 6. Well, that region, we can now see, is not a 4. So it's definitely bumping into this square. And this was part of the logic I missed. That caps out the value of this even, doesn't it? Because it's got to be a number that of evens that can fit on this line. And this is a length 7 line. So the maximum size this can be is 6. So if this is 6, this is 6. But where's the 6th cell of this one going to be? So we'd have a 6 region here growing. It's only 5 cells large. It can't go there or there now because it will bump into another 6. And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So we actually know that this is odd. Now I don't now know what that means it is. It is now 1. Okay, it's 1. It can't get to a count of 3, can it? So that's even. Now, does that mean that's still 6? It does mean that's still 6. Because, for the reasons we said, it's found its way to a circle that cannot contain a higher even number. That's 1. That's 1. This is finished now, because the 1 on this line has appeared. So the rest of this is all even. But, oh, that means this is the 6, because it can't obviously be part of anything else. So that finishes this. Finishes this. That's a 1 region, so it's going to be next to a 3 and a 2. Look, so 2 here, 3 here, and we've just oh no, I've broken it. Ah, no, I haven't. Right, got it. Wow, okay. Right, so I shall explain the several thoughts that went through my brain there. Thought number 1 was that's a 5-cell region. 5 is not even, so it must grow. Now that was a sensible thought. That means this cell I thought was even, which it is. But that said to me, you've broken the puzzle, Simon. That's a region of size 6, which is touching a region of size 6. And then my final thought was, but I could split this up into 2 other regions of even numbers, which would be a 2 and a 4. But that's quite interesting, because this has to be part of the 4, this has to be part of the 4, and that forces the shape of the 4 to be that, which puts 2 in the corner, which ought to have a song because it's such a pretty finish. And that, I think, is going to leave behind it, look, 2 regions of size 1. And that might be, I don't know if the puzzle will understand. It does understand. There we go. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. And it is a complete exercise in proving how foolish I was. I felt very foolish many times during that solve because I couldn't count properly. And if you can count, I mean, that's what this video should be called. If you can count, this puzzle is straightforward. But there are many opportunities here not to count properly, and I exploited many of them, especially I mean, it's so annoying when you find that you've either got one circle, so you know the parity of the other circle, or you've got a number, so you know what the other number is, or you've just not applied the logic to the line that you're looking at. There are so many opportunities for foolishness. But anyway, I got a 3 in the corner. I got some nice logic, beautiful logics. This not being a 6, that was my favourite bit. Yeah, it's a gorgeous little puzzle. 2 stars out of 5. Yeah, that's probably right actually, because there is nothing hard there. There's just a lot of opportunities for nonsense. So Math Pesto, thank you very much for setting this. Thank you for setting something that I have managed to do, and I should be able to create a video from in time for the 8:30 release. That is a very good bit of news, for me at least. And let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Kraken the Cryptic.